Good evening, my name is Jeffrey Lashley. This is the final week of FTH 212. Today is October 20th, 2024. So to check the overall health of my firearm, I have it disassembled and there are no rounds or anything in the area, so it is a cleared weapon. To check the overall health, there's some things that you would always inspect, and that is the barrel, making sure that the breech and everything is intact, not worn, not cracked. Make sure that the crown is not chipped or worn and that there's no corrosion or any buildup in the rifling of the barrel. Next is the slide. Always check the external portion of the slide, your sights. Check the rails, make sure that there's no wearing going on. Check the striker, make sure that there's pressure on it and the spring is working properly. The striker safety, make sure that if you do push it in, and then you can hear it click whenever it pops out. The frame, inspect everything on the frame to make sure it's intact and not broken. Again, make the rails, check them. Check the trigger pack, make sure that it is operating correctly. Check your springs, make sure that your trigger connector is not bent, and just overall check the magazine well, make sure it's not cracked and any problems. And then whenever the weapon is all back together, you would do a functions check and make sure that it's operating properly. Check the recoil spring, make sure that it is not bent or dented. Okay, that's how I would check the overall health of my pistol. And also not to forget the magazine, make sure that it's operational and it is all intact and doesn't come apart whenever you load rounds into it. Next is identify 10 learning experiences. Assembly. So we learned the assembly process of the PSA dagger and overall a Glock type weapon, going from a bag of parts all the way to assembly and functions check. Was very interesting to me, and I really enjoyed that. Trigger weight test, checking the trigger pull of anything by using the tools that were sent to us is very interesting, and I gathered a lot of information from that. And then being able to determine how to change that weight really is interesting to me. Headspace check, checking to make sure that the go and the no-go gauges are different, and then what to expect whenever the breech doesn't line up and the barrel doesn't set in there right. That was interesting. I liked learning the history of the Glock and similar technology and striker technology. I had no idea that Glock was that old, going back to the 1960s. Next, I enjoyed cycling and learning how to use a wood burner on the plastic and or rubber, and learning the different designs with the different tips, and also looking into how big of a market there is for this in the future as a gunsmith. So next, the cycle of operation for a striker fired pistol. We go over the cycle of operations with every firearm, but as it stated, knowing the cycle operations to determine a malfunction is really where a gunsmith must play a big role in learning what to look for. Detailed ammunition for striker fired, so going all over the different types of ammunition and looking at the reasons that they're tipped or the reason they're made, and also for ammunition problems associated with higher pressures or headspace or reusing, refilling ammunition, having cracked cases. So everything to do with the ammunition part of it, and learning that was interesting. All of these items are really important and will strengthen my ability overall to become a better gunsmith. So gunsmithing ethics. So we keep talking about this every time, ethics. ethics comes into play whenever you talk about what do you want to be able to give a customer back. And if a customer wants you to do something that's unethical or push the limits, you've got to understand that liability is going to be on your shoulders. So you've got to be ethical, and you've got to set limits. And if they keep pushing, you've got to ask them to take their business elsewhere and advise them. It's really going to cause a problem for them or the gunsmith that does that. So I like that, going over the ethics part of this and knowing that that'll build on my ability to be a better gunsmith in the future. The sub-assemblies and critical measurements of the firearms, and specifically the dagger, measuring the different parts of it, whether it be the twist rate or the length of a barrel, again, will make a better gunsmith having the knowledge and the practice of doing that. And then the last thing, because I did name 10, sorry I didn't number them, but shop safety and firearm handling safety. So knowing how to set up a shop and being able to handle things safely and doing things in a safe manner is number one. And I wanted to end on that because being able to think about the safety and being safe all the time is really what's going to set you apart from different gunsmiths, and being able to have a better understanding of how to do it safely. Part 3, identify one modification. So I would like to learn how to do milling on the slides to be able to install optics. That seems to be a big item in our area that people are wanting to do that. So I would like to add a red dots optic to my slide. I want to do that because it's a better option for most pistols these days. Using the original sights, or iron sights, if you will. It's just kind of outdated and generic. This is kind of more of a high-speed, low drag. Cool, but it also is functional. So with the right tools, it can be done in an hour, I think. I have no idea really, but looking at the pricing online, it can't take too long because it's anywhere from $200 to $250 is what I found. There's none in my local area, so I did go online to look at that. So I would charge roughly that. If I got good at it, I would test it out obviously on some of mine, or I'd buy some cheap slides, some that have been damaged or actually just tried out on other metals before. But yeah, it does fit with the rates. Other gunsmiths conducted outside research, and I found on www.glockstore.com/red-dot-optic-cut that they charge about $200 to $250 for a 10-day turnaround. So I would like to learn that. I do think that it's a worthy task that would earn some money as a gunsmith and get some repeat customers coming back. So, all right, so that concludes my assignment for week 5. Overall, it's been an outstanding course. Appreciate all the information that you've given us, and I thank you, and hopefully hope to see you in the next course, and if not, something on down the road. Thanks.